Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Yes, Sanjay, as I was saying, with after the lockdown, my work has actually increased quite a bit. You know,
Okay.
when people say this is a time, make use of this time to go inward, and when you say, stay in awareness and things like that. But I mean, the thing is, I know you have said that regardless of what you're doing, you don't have to sit down at a place for meditation. At any time, just be aware.
Yeah.
But I am not able to do that. I have, like I told you, I wrote that I on my finger, and I find that I don't look at my hands. So I have a post-it note up here that says Sumairu,
Sumayu.
and
Sumayu.
then I look at that, and sometimes, yes, that helps. I look, that helps. And what I have sometimes I do is I just tell myself, okay, just imagine that Bhagwan is doing all the work. He is doing it, and you're just witnessing his work. So I am trying to get some techniques like this to make sure that I am aware. So that sometimes when I say, okay, Bhagwan is doing everything, and I'm just watching what he's doing, or he's doing it, quickly or something. I don't. Sometimes I say, I'm just going to watch. Let him do whatever he's doing. I'm not sure if that's the right thing.
Yeah. So okay,
But even that, I don't do it all the time.
okay, I'll touch base on this because this is such an important thing,
So,
and I can only tell the technique what I did and how it helps.
yes.
So
Okay.
the technique, any technique, what you try to um, use, you have to use it when you have all the best energy in you and when there is no outside disturbance. Because, as you know, the country which wins the war is the one who is preparing during the peace. Look, I'm not supporting any war, but I'm just giving you a very, just for sake of an example, this thing. So what it means is that when we are sitting quietly in morning or evening, just in our own room, we can use a technique and strengthen that technique, and then use the same technique when you are in the midst of people, when you're doing things, and then you watch yourself as an empty space. So the best way to do is, let's say you are sitting here, we are all are sitting, and let's practice it today exactly the way it should be. In Hindi, there is a beautiful word for that which we call as antarmukhi. And we need to understand what antarmukhi means. Antar means internal, mukhi means towards, facing internally. So, what is that faces internally? And then we say bahya mukhi, which means facing, mukhi means face, and bahya means outwardly facing. So, there's something in us which can face internally or which can face externally. And how would you define that thing? What is in us which can face internally? What is it in us? Let's try to contemplate. Let's sit for a minute and just watch. And let's say, I say, let's all of us become antarmukhi, that means facing internally. And let's sit for 2 minutes and see what happens. So this internal facing or antarmukhi doesn't mean that you have to close your eyes or you have to sit in silence. The only thing is you have to appreciate the silence in your emptiness. So when you're sitting, the thoughts might be coming, feelings might come, and your mind will still be around. And the mind might pull you into an issue or a story from the past or for the future planning. And that can happen, and you might move out, which I'll call Bahyamukhi. You move out, you move into the mind sphere. But your intention is to be Antarmukhi, just in this quiet room of your awareness. And what is in us which becomes outward and inward and outward, and this game like ping pong keeps happening. This thing in us which moves in and out is attention. Whatever part of the body you pay attention, you start feeling it. Let's all of us try to bring attention to the right big toe. Let's bring attention to the nail of the right big toe. And slowly, bottom part of the right big toe. And we are exactly there right now. Let's bring our attention to the top of the head. And we are there right now. Let's bring our attention to the base of the spine. And you can even feel tingling in that area. So what is this attention? This attention is the biggest power in us. Wherever you bring attention to, whatever part of the body or the beingness you focus to, you are there. So when we are facing internally, you are bringing your attention to the awareness. How to recognize that you are doing it correctly? The foremost thing is it's a neutral space. It is impersonal. Here there is no likes or dislikes, no language. It's a silent area, empty area. It feels as if nothing is happening in this area, nothing at all. No waves, as if you have been asked to sit in an empty, quiet room. And in an empty, quiet room, there is no disturbance. So the empty, quiet room can be very disturbing to a lot of people. Recently, I was with a junior doctor in hospital, and she was having disturbances because of the project she is doing and finances and all. And I said, why don't you just meditate? And she had a big laugh and she said, I'm a person of action. I can't just sit. I need something to be done. And I said, why don't you just sit quietly and these all things of uncertainty and worry will go away and let's watch. And she said, no, I'm a person of action. I don't dislike all this anxiety and stress, and that makes the life going. If you are one of them, then I would suggest you not to think about spirituality and silence and knowing, and because there is a lot in you left to spend in the materialistic world, because then you will be wasting time. But yes, if you are really keen to look beyond the materialistic world, and you have enough of this word, enough of the tasting, and you're already feeling indigestion, and you want catharsis, you want to purge everything out, then you can think about spirituality. If you are still trying to fill up yourself with the action in the word, with the passion, desires, then better to do all these things, indulge fully, and then think about spirituality. Because spirituality is to get out of the game, not to be in the middle of the game and indulge in everything. So, how can you be in this empty space? Only your own intention, your attention, your own longing for it, and your dispassion to the worldly affairs. If you have interest in these soap operas, how can you be free? If you are interested in all sorts of gossips happening around us, how can you be free? No one bounds us. It's on our own nature. Sometimes our subconscious mind, which is still attracted to all sorts of stuff happening around us. I'll give you a beautiful example. I do meditation with my staff every morning. Most of the mornings, I should say. It's not possible every morning. And sometimes, as soon as the meditation ends, even before people leave the room, they start chatting about something weird. That is boredom. The mind is the devil in us. The mind is our real enemy or thief in us. And when you sit in emptiness, in silence, it feels bored. You are not giving importance to it. It comes with vengeance. And it comes with more sound, more noise. It becomes more chaotic. And then you feel more disturbed. And you think you have lost the silence. This is a game you should understand. So, if you want to win this game, the first and foremost thing is your longing to know the God within you. Number 2, vairagya or dispassion or no interest in the worldly things. Worldly things also means the mind, its thoughts, its projections, its concepts, its belief system, emotions, feelings, everything. Not the images you see, but images in the mind. If you have no interest in them, and you have interest and longing to know the God, then your job is almost done. Because you have no interest in the activities of mind, whatever it says, you're not going to pay attention to it. And you have interest in longing to know the God. The other name of the God is silence, awareness, consciousness, true self, the quietude in us, the impersonal awareness in us. Then you will pay attention to that. It is so simple and easy. So first you have to decide what you really want to do. Kabir said, Prem gali ati sankri isme do na samaye, which means the love lane is so narrow that two can't fit in it. Who are these two people? Your mind and your godly consciousness. You have to decide. If you have decided firmly with full faith and 100% belief in what I am saying, and you have no liking for the mind game, and you love the God within you, then matter is already sorted out. All the time your attention will be on this godly consciousness. Whether it's the joyful moment or sorrowful moment or end of the world or you are eternal, doesn't matter. You are always paying attention to the awareness. And I'll tell you why. Because once you truly pay attention to this awareness and you taste this awareness even for a second, you will never ever will go into the mind game again. With a simple reason that there is so much of peace here, contentment, 100% satisfaction. You are happy without anything. You are happy in spite of all the suffering around you. And you have no desire to do anything from your mind to keep you happy, to make you happy. Nothing in the world can make you more happier than what you are. And no sorrow in the world will take away this happiness. You just have to taste this bliss just for 1 second. And this bliss is within you. And this bliss is you. And this bliss is just this pure silence where you are kept quiet. Even an iota of desire will spoil this whole game. Put all your money on this awareness. Pay attention to this awareness. Pay attention in your solitude, morning or evening. Even if you have 2 minutes, put 100% of your energy in these 2 minutes. And please taste this silence for 1 second. And if you can taste it for 1 second, you will never leave it. And your job is done. Because you will realize when you have nothing, you are most happy.